In the world of coin collecting, some of the most fascinating and surprising discoveries come from the most ordinary-looking coins. Imagine finding a simple 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that's been in circulation for decades, and realizing it's worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're going to dive deep into the incredible story, history, and current market value of the rare 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, which has been valued at an astonishing $82,856. So, if you've ever wondered whether the change in your pocket could be a hidden fortune, stay tuned till the end, because this coin might just be sitting in your wallet right now. The 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series that began in 1959 and ran until 2008. These coins feature the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The obverse design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear just below Lincoln's shoulder. But what makes the 1988 no-mint mark penny so special, and why is it worth more than some luxury cars today? The secret lies in its rarity, condition, and a few mysterious minting details that make collectors go crazy for it. First, let's talk about the mint mark, or in this case, the lack of one. Most pennies minted in 1988 were produced at either the Denver Mint, which bears a D mint mark, or the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time often struck coins without any mint mark at all. So, when we talk about the 1988 no-mint mark penny, we're actually referring to coins produced in Philadelphia. But not all of these pennies are valuable. What makes certain 1988 no-mint mark pennies incredibly rare is the fact that some were struck with a reverse design intended for the 1989 issue. These transitional errors occurred when mint workers accidentally used dies from the following year. This error, now famously known as the 1988 no-mint mark reverse of 1989 variety, is what separates ordinary pennies from treasures. On these coins, the design details on the Lincoln Memorial differ slightly, specifically, the FG initials of designer Frank Gasparo, which appear to the right of the memorial. On normal 1988 cents, these initials are spaced farther from the memorial and have a distinct style. However, on the rare era coins, the FG initials are closer and sharper, matching the design that would officially debut in 1989. This subtle difference is what collectors hunt for. It's a small detail, but one that transforms a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now let's explore why this coin commands such high prices. Coin values depend on three main factors: rarity, condition, and demand. The 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent with the 1989 reverse is rare because only a limited number of them were struck before the mistake was discovered and corrected. Most were released into circulation before the mint realized the error, meaning these coins could have been used in everyday transactions for years, further reducing the number of well-preserved specimens. Today, finding one in uncirculated or mint condition is exceptionally difficult. Collectors and grading services such as PCGS and NGC have confirmed a few known examples in high grades, some even in mint state condition. When one of these rare coins appears at auction, it sparks intense bidding wars among collectors eager to own a piece of U.S. minting history. Depending on the grade and eye appeal, these coins have fetched prices up to $82,856 in the open market. That's an extraordinary amount for something that began its life as a simple penny. But let's rewind a bit and talk about how this series began. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, and it immediately became iconic. Over the years, several design changes were made, but the Lincoln Memorial reverse introduced in 1959 became one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage. It ran for nearly 50 years until 2008, when the mint replaced it with a new reverse design in honor of Lincoln's bicentennial in 2009. The 1980s were a busy decade for the U.S. Mint, with billions of pennies produced each year. Most of these coins were copper-plated zinc, following the 1982 transition from nearly pure copper cents. Because of their huge mintage numbers, most pennies from that era are considered common and worth only face value. However, as coin collectors know, Errors and varieties can turn an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The 1988 no-mint mark penny with the 1989 reverse is one such example. If you want to know whether you might have one of these treasures, grab a magnifying glass and inspect your 1988 pennies closely. Look at the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. Focus on the FG initials to the right of the monument. On the valuable variety, the G and FG will be much closer to the building, and the letters will appear thinner and sharper than on a regular coin. This is the easiest way to tell if you have the transitional reverse variety. If your coin matches these characteristics, it's time to get it authenticated by a reputable grading service. Grading plays a major role in determining the coin's final value. A 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent with heavy wear or scratches will still be worth more than a normal penny but won't reach the staggering five-figure prices. However, examples in mint state grades, MS65, MS66, or higher, are what bring in the big money. In these grades, the coin's luster, sharp strike, and minimal contact marks make it appealing to serious collectors. These are the coins that can sell for up to $82,856 or more at auction. It's important to remember that coin collecting isn't just about money. It's also about history, discovery, and passion. Each coin tells a story of the time it was minted, the technology used, and the people who handled it. The 1988 no-mint mark penny represents a fascinating chapter in U.S. minting history, reminding us that even small mistakes can create big legends. For collectors, finding one of these coins isn't just about luck, it's about patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail. Let's take a moment to imagine how such a valuable coin might end up in your pocket. Back in the late 1980s, billions of pennies were circulating daily across the United States. A few error coins slipped through quality control and entered circulation undetected. For decades, they were spent, collected, lost, and rediscovered. Many of these coins may still be out there, sitting in jars, drawers, or old coin albums. Every year, new examples are found by people who never imagined their pocket change could be worth thousands of dollars. In fact, stories of lucky finds are not uncommon. Some collectors have reported discovering the rare 1988 reverse of 1989 penny in pocket change, coin rolls, or estate collections. One such example, found in excellent condition, was later sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. These stories continue to inspire new collectors and remind us why coin hunting remains one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. Now, you might wonder, how does a coin that's only worth 1 cent become worth $82,856? The answer lies in the law of supply and demand. There are millions of collectors worldwide, but only a handful of these rare transitional error coins are known to exist in high-grade condition. When rarity meets demand, prices soar. Just like rare stamps or paintings, coins with unique characteristics or minting errors become highly desirable pieces of history. The 1988 no-mint mark penny also represents a bridge between two eras, the end of one design and the beginning of another. Transitional errors like this one capture that brief moment of change, which is what makes them historically significant. They are accidental time capsules of U.S. minting evolution. For those serious about collecting or investing, this coin is an excellent example of why knowledge matters. Understanding minting errors, die varieties, and historical context can help you identify coins others overlook. In coin collecting, knowledge truly equals profit. So, next time you're sorting through your change, don't ignore the pennies. They might not seem like much at first glance, but as this 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent proves, appearances can be deceiving. Over the years, coin grading services have become an essential part of the hobby. When a coin like the 1988 no-mint mark variety is discovered, it's often sent to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. These professional organizations use strict standards to evaluate the coin's condition, ensuring its authenticity and assigning a grade that determines its value. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1-cent coin sitting quietly in your pocket change could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coins, the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. Believe it or not, this small copper-plated treasure, which many people overlook every single day, has reached a jaw-dropping current market value of $56,575. So, if you've ever wondered whether that old penny you found could make you rich, stay with me till the very end of this video, because we're going to explore everything, from its fascinating history, the mystery of the missing mint mark, the features that make it so valuable, and how collectors today are paying incredible sums of money for it. Let's begin with a little history lesson. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most respected presidents. Over the years, the coin went through several design and material changes, but the 1989 Lincoln penny remains one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. In 1989, the penny featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, who was originally commissioned for the coin's first issue decades earlier. The reverse side displayed the image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which had been used since 1959. But what makes the 1989 penny so different and incredibly valuable today is not just its design, it's that mysterious absence of a mint mark. You might be asking, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Well, here's the secret that most people don't realize. Every coin minted in the United States carries a tiny letter under the date. This is the mint mark. It shows where the coin was made. For example, D represents Denver, S stands for San Francisco, and P indicates Philadelphia. However, in 1989, the U.S. Mint primarily struck pennies at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. The Philadelphia Mint coins usually had no mint mark back then, but errors during this period resulted in variations that collectors would later find extremely valuable. The 1989 no mint mark penny became famous because of certain rare minting errors, striking variations, and incredible preservation quality that made some examples worth small fortunes. Now, let's talk about what exactly makes a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent worth over $56,000. The majority of 1989 pennies you'll find in circulation are made from copper-plated zinc, a composition that began in 1982 when the U.S. Mint changed from pure copper to a less expensive metal due to rising copper prices. Each penny weighs about 2.5 grams, and most are extremely common. But among the billions struck, a few came out with extraordinary qualities, error strikes, double dies, and pristine uncirculated conditions that are nearly flawless even under magnification. These are the ones collectors go wild for. A 1989 penny graded at the highest levels by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, showing sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, and no wear, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars in the open market. In coin collecting, condition is everything. Two pennies from the same year can have drastically different values. A worn-out penny might only be worth 1 cent, but a mint-state specimen, preserved perfectly since the day it was struck, can be worth a fortune. The most valuable 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent ever sold reached the incredible amount of $56,575 at auction, mainly because it was in nearly perfect condition, graded MS-70 by the professional coin grading service. That means it had absolutely no flaws visible under 5x magnification, a rarity almost unheard of for modern pennies. But rarity doesn't stop there. There are other factors that increase this coin's desirability. Some 1989 pennies were struck using worn or misaligned dies, resulting in double images on the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word, "Liberty." These are called double die errors. A strong double die from 1989 can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value, depending on the severity and visibility of the doubling. Other errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, or even coins struck on the wrong planchet can make collectors pay eye-popping sums of money. Let's also consider the fascinating story behind mint errors and how they escaped into circulation. The U.S. Mint operates with extreme precision, but mistakes can still happen when dies are improperly aligned, metal planchets are mismatched, or the striking pressure varies. When a batch of error coins is released before being caught, it becomes a treasure hunt for collectors. The 1989 penny era is particularly special because it came during a time of high production, Yet quality control allowed a few unique pieces to slip out, making them incredibly desirable decades later. Now, if you want to know whether you might have one of these valuable 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln cents, here's what to look for. Start with the basics. Examine the obverse side, where Lincoln's bust faces right. Look carefully under the date. There should be no mint mark. Then, check the lettering. The words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," should be bold and clear. If you notice any doubling in the letters or numbers, it could be a double die error. Next, inspect the reverse side. The Lincoln memorials should be sharp and detailed, with the tiny statue of Lincoln visible inside the memorial. If the coin looks unusually well struck, shiny, and shows no signs of wear, it's worth getting it professionally graded. A lot of people think that old coins are the only ones worth collecting, but modern coins like this 1989 penny have proven that even relatively recent issues can hold surprising value. What really drives up the price is demand among collectors, the rarity of high-grade examples, and of course, the excitement of owning something so special. Imagine being the person who finds one of these in pocket change, only to discover it could pay off a car, college tuition, or even part of your mortgage. That's the kind of life-changing surprise that keeps coin collectors searching every day. Let's explore why the Lincoln cent, in general, has captured the hearts of collectors for over a century. The coin isn't just money, it's a piece of American history. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, was the first time a real person, and especially a U.S. president, appeared on an American coin. That decision marked a major shift in U.S. coinage tradition and symbolized the nation's admiration for Lincoln's legacy. Over time, the Lincoln penny became more than just a coin, it became a collectible symbol of national pride. Even minor variations or minting quirks have been studied and cherished by hobbyists for generations. Now, let's dive a little deeper into how collectors determine value. A coin's grade is usually assessed based on 5 main factors: strike quality, luster, surface preservation, color, and eye appeal. The strike refers to how clearly the details appear. The luster is the shine that reflects light. Surface preservation means how well the coin has been protected from scratches, spots, or corrosion. Color can range from brilliant red to brown, with red designations being most valuable for copper coins, and eye appeal is the overall visual impact of the coin. The 1989 no-mint Mark penny that fetched $56,575 had all these qualities in near perfection, making it a once-in-a-lifetime find. If you're wondering where people are finding these valuable coins, the answer might surprise you. Many discoveries have come from old collections, coin rolls from banks, inherited boxes of coins, or even random pocket change. The best thing about coin collecting is that you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem. That's why it's worth checking every penny before you spend it or toss it into a jar. You could be sitting on a mini fortune without even realizing it. Collectors also consider the population reports published by grading services. These reports tell you how many examples of a particular coin exist in a certain grade. When a coin like the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent has only a handful of top-grade specimens certified, the competition among collectors skyrockets, and so does the price. It's all about rarity and demand, 2 forces that drive the coin market higher every year. Let's take a moment to appreciate how coin values can evolve over time. Decades ago, nobody thought a modern penny could be worth much. But as time passes and pristine examples become harder to find, values rise dramatically. In today's video, we are going to talk about one of the most fascinating and surprising coins that could be sitting right in your change jar or coin collection, the 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. You might think that modern pennies are all common, but you'd be shocked to know that some of them are worth thousands of dollars. One special 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has amazed collectors across the country because of its incredible value. Believe it or not, a rare variety of this coin recently sold for a jaw-dropping $47,945. That's right, a 1-cent coin that could make you nearly $50,000 richer if you happen to find one in the right condition. Before we dive into what makes this penny so valuable, let's go back a little in history to understand where the 1997 Lincoln cent came from. The Lincoln 1-cent coin has been part of American currency since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has gone through several changes, from its original wheat reverse design to the modern Lincoln Memorial design, and later the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. By 1997, the Lincoln Memorial design had already been in circulation for decades. These coins were made primarily from copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams each, and they were produced by the Billions. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without any mint mark, while the Denver and San Francisco mints used D and S marks respectively. However, even among billions of ordinary coins, rare errors and high-grade examples can become extremely valuable, and that's exactly what happened with this 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Now, what makes a 1997 no-mint mark penny worth nearly $47,945? It all comes down to a combination of factors: rarity, condition, minting errors, and collector demand. Let's start with the first and most important factor: condition. Coin collectors grade coins on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1997 penny in regular circulated condition is only worth 1 cent, maybe a few dollars if it looks nice. But if your coin is in a pristine, uncirculated condition, showing no scratches, marks, or signs of wear, it could be a mint state example, and that's where the serious money comes in. In fact, the record-breaking $47,945 value came from a 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that was graded MS69 red by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. That's nearly the highest possible grade a coin can get. It had a flawless red color, stunning shine, and no visible imperfections under magnification. Collectors go crazy for coins like this because they are almost perfect examples of their type. But condition alone isn't the only thing that can make a 1997 penny valuable. Certain era coins from this year are also worth a fortune. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's production, and collectors often pay big money for them because they are unique. Some of the most sought-after 1997 penny errors include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and broad strikes. One of the most talked about varieties is the 1997 double die obverse penny. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice at slightly different angles. The result is a noticeable doubling of the date, lettering, or Lincoln's face. If you look closely at "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" and notice any doubling, don't ignore it. It could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another valuable error type is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned with the dies, causing part of the design to be missing. Depending on how far off-center it is, and if the date is still visible, these coins can fetch between $50 and $500, and in rare cases even more. Then there's the die crack error, where a small crack forms in the die used to strike the coin. This creates raised lines or bumps on the surface of the coin, often appearing near Lincoln's head or around the rim. Some collectors love these imperfections because they tell the story of how the coin was made, and certain dramatic cracks can bring in impressive prices at auction. But among all the possible 1997 Lincoln penny errors, the most valuable ones are those in near-perfect condition or with extremely rare minting flaws that set them apart from ordinary examples. Now, let's talk about what you can do to check your coins. Start by looking for any 1997 Lincoln pennies in your change, coin jars, or collections. If you find one, the first thing you should do is check the mint mark. If there is no D or S under the date, you have a no mint mark Philadelphia coin. Next, examine the color. A bright red or red-orange tone is usually more desirable than a dull brown or dark one. Collectors call these color grades red, red-brown, and brown. The redder the coin, the higher the potential value, especially for uncirculated coins. Then, carefully inspect the coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for any doubling on the date or lettering, signs of off-center striking, or unusual raised lines that might indicate a die crack. These are all signs that your coin could be worth much more than face value. If your coin looks special or seems uncirculated, it's worth sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These companies can authenticate your coin and assign it an official grade. Once graded, collectors can easily identify its rarity and value. Some high-grade 1997 no-mint mark pennies have sold at major auctions for prices ranging from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars. For example, in one notable auction, a 1997 penny-graded MS-69 red fetched nearly $47,945, shocking even seasoned coin collectors. That price reflected its perfect condition and beautiful luster, making it one of the finest known examples in existence. But even if you don't have a perfect MS-69 example, don't be discouraged. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 can still bring in hundreds, or even thousands of dollars depending on their eye appeal and color quality. So it's always worth checking carefully. That ordinary-looking penny could be hiding a fortune. It's also important to remember that the market for coins changes over time. As more collectors enter the hobby and high-grade examples become scarcer, prices for certain coins can skyrocket. That's why holding on to a rare, high-quality coin can be a smart move. It might be worth even more in the future. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. Its simple design, historical importance, and the fact that it's still in circulation make it an easy coin for new collectors to start with. And the 1997 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of how even modern coins can have hidden value. Imagine the surprise of finding a 1997 penny in your drawer, getting it graded, and discovering it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's stories like these that keep the coin collecting community so passionate and excited. Every coin tells a story, from its design and production to the hands it has passed through, and sometimes that story includes an incredible payday. So if you love searching through coins, keep an eye out for the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Make sure you check every detail carefully, its condition, color, and possible errors. And if you think you've found something special, don't hesitate to get it verified by an expert. You never know, you could be holding a small piece of history worth nearly $50,000. Collectors often say that coin collecting is like treasure hunting, and the 1997 penny proves that's true. A single coin, struck over 2 decades ago and worth only 1 cent, can become a valuable collector's item if preserved well enough. Now let's take a moment to reflect on why coins like this gain so much value. It's not just rarity, it's the perfect mix of historical significance, collector demand, and flawless preservation. As time passes, fewer of these near-perfect examples exist because most coins are spent, damaged, or corroded. That's why the few remaining pristine coins become highly desirable to collectors willing to pay premium prices. And remember, even small details like mint luster, color tone, and strike sharpness can make a huge difference in price. So, when you're looking through your change or your old coin rolls, treat every penny with care, because one of them could be the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln cent worth thousands. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a penny could hold such immense value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, there's always a new discovery waiting in the next handful of change. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of the smallest coin in your pocket. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable modern Lincoln 1-cent coins ever discovered, the 1998 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin might look like any ordinary penny you find in your pocket change, but under the right conditions, this small copper-plated zinc coin can be worth an incredible $64,834. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, worth nearly $65,000. So, let's explore how a coin so common could turn out to be one of the most valuable pieces in your collection, what makes it rare, how to identify one, and what you should look for before spending it or selling it. The 1998 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark located just below the year on the obverse side of the coin, right next to Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. Most of these pennies were produced in huge numbers for circulation, with over 5.5 billion coins minted that year. That means they were everywhere, in circulation, in rolls, in jars, and even in your own change. But only a few of these coins turned out to be truly special due to minting errors, die varieties, and rare conditions that dramatically increased their value. Before we get into what makes these specific pennies valuable, it's important to understand the basic design and composition. The obverse of the coin, which features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, has been in use since 1909, when the Lincoln cent was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side of the 1998 D penny still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 through 2008 before being replaced by the Union Shield design in 2010. These coins are made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, weighing about 2.5 grams each. Now, why would a 1998 D penny be worth $64,834? The main reason lies in rarity, condition, and error varieties. When collectors and grading services like PCGS and NGC appraise coins, they look for three things: strike quality, preservation, and unique characteristics such as doubled dies or off-metal strikes. For the 1998 D penny, the most valuable ones are those struck with an unusual die alignment, or doubled die obverse, and of course, those preserved in perfect mint state condition. One of the rarest variations of the 1998 D penny is known as the wide AM variety. Normally, the AM in the word America on the reverse of the coin should be close together. But in the rare wide AM variety, there is a noticeable space between the letters A and M. This happened because the mint accidentally used a proof die meant for special collector coins on a circulation strike. Only a very small number of these error coins escaped into the public, making them incredibly valuable to collectors. Finding one in uncirculated or mint condition can mean a huge payday. The difference between the normal and wide AM is subtle but visible to the naked eye if you look closely. The easiest way to check is by comparing the space between the A and M in America. On the normal coin, they almost touch. On the wide AM, they are clearly separated. Additionally, on the wide AM version, the initials, FG, near the Lincoln Memorial are further from the base of the memorial, giving another easy clue to identify the error. Collectors who found these coins early on often didn't realize what they had. Many were spent, lost, or put in coin jars. But those who knew what to look for turned a single cent into thousands of dollars. In top-graded conditions, especially MS-68 and above, certified examples have sold at auction for more than $60,000. The record sale of a 1998 D Lincoln penny with this error type and flawless condition reached a shocking $64,834, an unbelievable return for something that was originally worth only a penny. But the wide AM isn't the only valuable 1998 D penny. Other rare versions include coins struck slightly off-center, double-struck coins, and even examples with die cracks or lamination errors. These minting errors happen when the coin blank or die shifts slightly during production, creating noticeable distortions in the design. These kinds of errors can fetch hundreds to even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition. Always inspect your coins under good lighting or a magnifying glass because even small variations can make a big difference in value. Condition, or grade, is another major factor that determines a coin's worth. A 1998 D penny in circulated condition might be worth only face value. However, in uncirculated or mint state, especially those graded by a professional service, the price skyrockets. Grading ranges from MS-60, mint state, to MS-70, a perfect coin with no marks or imperfections visible even under magnification. The closer to MS-70 your coin is, the more valuable it becomes. A 1998 D penny graded MS-68 read by PCGS or NGC can easily reach tens of thousands of dollars at auction, while lower grades like MS-65 might bring a few $100s. When it comes to color designation, collectors often refer to brown, and red coins. Over time, copper coins can change color due to oxidation. A red coin indicates it has retained its original bright coppery shine, while brown coins have toned darker due to exposure. Red coins are typically more desirable and command higher prices. So, if your 1998 penny still shines like new and has no visible wear, it could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Another fascinating aspect of the 1998 penny is its place in modern coin collecting history. During the late 1990s, the U.S. Mint was modernizing its equipment and experimenting with different die polishing and proof-making techniques. This led to more frequent die swaps and a higher possibility of mixing proof dies with regular circulation dies, exactly what caused the wide AM and other related errors. Collectors now pay close attention to pennies from the 1998 to 2000 range because of these discoveries. For example, the 1999 wide AM and 2000 close AM pennies also share similar origins, making this short period one of the most interesting times for Lincoln cent varieties. If you're hoping to find one of these valuable 1998 pennies, the best place to start is your own change. Check jars, rolls, and collections of older pennies you may have lying around. Bank rolls and estate collections are also great sources. It might take patience, but the reward could be life-changing. Imagine pulling a single penny worth over $60,000 from an old jar. That's the kind of story that turns ordinary people into passionate collectors. Once you find a coin you think might be valuable, the next step is proper evaluation. Avoid cleaning the coin, as that can damage its surface and significantly reduce its value. Instead, store it carefully in a soft holder or coin flip, and consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Their authentication and grading will not only confirm its condition and rarity, but also make it easier to sell at auction or through a dealer for its full market value. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and stories like the 1998 Lincoln penny remind us that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday change. Whether it's a mint error, a doubled die, or a high-grade example, these coins prove that attention to detail pays off. What sets this penny apart is not just its value, but the thrill of discovery that comes with it. A coin that was meant to be spent for candy or coffee has now become a collector's dream worth over $64,000. As we wrap up, remember that every coin tells a story, from the moment it was struck to the moment it ends up in your hand. The 1998 penny story is one of chance, precision, and luck. You don't need to be a professional numismatist to find rare coins. You just need curiosity, patience, and a keen eye. Check your change, look closely at the small details, and who knows, your next penny could be worth a small fortune. So the next time you come across a 1998 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It could be the wide AM variety, or a rare error worth thousands. Even a small difference in the letters, spacing, or shine can mean the difference between 1 cent and $64,000. The key is knowledge, observation, and knowing what to look for. The 1998 Lincoln penny proves that treasure hunting doesn't always mean digging in the ground or searching in antique shops. Sometimes, the most valuable treasures are sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone to notice. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, every coin you check brings you one step closer to finding your own hidden fortune. So keep your eyes open, keep your change close, and never underestimate the power of a single penny.